All right, let's talk about something that's absolutely foundational for any business, really truly understanding your ideal customer. We're going to move beyond just guessing and create a clear, actionable blueprint that can totally define your success. Let's dive in. It doesn't matter if you're a tiny startup or a huge global brand. At the end of the day, your success really boils down to how well you can answer one single crucial question. And this is it. This is the big one. It's not just about who might buy your stuff. It's about who is the perfect fit. Who's going to get the most value out of what you do, become a huge fan, and ultimately, what's going to make them choose you over everybody else? Now, I know it feels a little weird. You'd think trying to appeal to everyone would be the smart move, right? Cast the widest net possible. But in reality, when your message is generic, it just gets lost. It's white noise. It doesn't connect with anyone because it's not really for anyone. So, how do we get that laser focus? Well, we build a blueprint, a structured framework that gives us a crystal clear picture of the person we're trying to reach. So, what exactly is a customer persona? Look, it's not just some character you make up. It's a profile based on real research and real data. The semi-fictional part just means we're giving this data a name and a face to make it feel real. But its heart and soul, the goals, the challenges, the habits, that's all grounded in fact. And that is exactly why we call it a blueprint. I mean, you would never, ever build a house without one, right? It would be total chaos. It's the same idea here. This persona guides everything. The features you develop, the marketing emails you write, even the social media platforms you use. Every decision gets passed through one simple filter. Would our ideal customer actually care about this? Building this blueprint is basically a three-step process. First, we define who they are on a personal level. Then we dig deep to understand what they really want. And finally, we map out how they actually act and make decisions in the real world. Okay, first things first, let's lay the foundation. This is all about understanding the actual human being behind the purchase. We need to know the surface level facts, sure, but also the deeper stuff that really makes them tick. To do this, we need to go beyond the basics. Demographics, things like age, location, job title, that gives you the skeleton. But it's the psychographics, their interests, their values, their attitudes. That's what gives this person a personality. It's the difference between knowing what they are and truly understanding who they are. This right here gets to their core motivation. Think of it like this. On one side, you have their pain points, the nagging frustrations they are just dying to solve. And on the other, their goals, that future version of themselves they're trying to build. Your product, your service, it has to be the bridge that gets them from that pain to their goal. Okay, so we know who they are and what drives them. Now for the practical part. Let's figure out their actions. Where do they spend their time, and how do they actually make decisions? This is where our blueprint becomes a real, actionable tool. Here, we're basically mapping their habits. Are they motivated more by price or by quality? What are the biggest hurdles that stop them from buying? Is this an impulse buy for them or something they research for weeks? Once you understand their decision-making process, you can meet them at just the right moment with just the right message. A really great way to visualize this is as a journey. First up, discovery. How do they even learn that solutions like yours exist? Is it a blog post, a friend's recommendation, an ad? Then consideration. How do they compare their options? Where do they actually prefer to make the purchase? And, so important, what do they expect from you after they've bought? Each one of these steps is a critical touchpoint. So, we've gathered all the pieces of the puzzle. The demographics, the psychographics, the pains, the goals, the behaviors. Now it's time to put it all together and finally see who we've built. This is the magic moment. This is where all that data, all those bullet points, transform from a list of facts into a real, relatable person, someone you can actually talk to. Just listen to that for a second. That one sentence tells us so much. They value efficiency, they want a competitive edge, and they need it to be easy to use. See, it's not about the features, it's about the outcome. This is a pragmatic person who is focused on results. And here she is, meet Alex, the pragmatic manager. We can see her basic demographics, her main goal of boosting team efficiency, and her biggest pain point, wasting time on bad software. We even know exactly where to find her, reading industry blogs and on LinkedIn, where she really trusts what her peers say. All those abstract data points, they now have a name and a story. And this is the game changer. From this point forward, you're not writing an ad for businesses. You're writing it for Alex. You're not designing a new feature for users. You're designing it to solve a problem for Alex. Trust me, that shift in focus changes everything. So the blueprint is yours now. Every bit of data you already have can be put together to build a powerful persona, just like Alex. The only question left is, who will you build?